Hello yogis, I hope you're doing well. I am going to lead us today in a practice that's more and more of a stretchy, breathing, slow practice. And I'm going to shorten the practice to about 40 minutes so that hopefully I can get it loaded up on the Facebook page a little bit easier. I have been significantly technology challenged in the past couple of weeks. So I'm hoping that maybe a shorter practice will help. In the practice today, I'm going to use a couple of blocks and a strap. You can use blocks, you can use books, like hardbound books if you have those. And if you don't have a strap, you can use a towel. A beach towel might be long enough. And if you have a blanket or a towel would work. But I wanted to start today with some information out of a book that I'm currently reading called The Heart of Yoga by Desikachar. I've had this book actually since 2013 and I've read bits and pieces out of it. But the last book I was reading, The Inner Tradition of Yoga, referred to this book quite a bit. And I thought, man, I really want to go back and just read that book again from front to through all the way through. And there's some really good information in here about yoga and pertinent to the situation that we're going through now. There is a concept in yoga called Satvada, S-A-T-V-A-D-A. And that concept is that everything we see and experience is accepted. And that sounds to me like a very pertinent concept for the times that we're in right now. In yoga, part of the yoga philosophy is that everything is in a state of change and flux. And it certainly is now. We see that from day to day with news on the coronavirus and that new restrictions and conditions and what's going on in the places around us. There's also a concept that is called Purusha, and that is that there is something deep within us that is able to see and recognize the true nature of all things, including the fact that they are in a state of constant change. And then the essential purpose of yoga is to alleviate the amount of struggling and suffering that we create for ourselves. So when we can get ourselves centered in this place of Satvada, then we accept what is going on around us. We let go of what we cannot change, and that we lessen the amount of struggling and suffering that we create for ourselves. So with that in mind, let's move toward practice. So find that place that you would like to start, either sitting up if you'd like to sit up, someplace where you can have a nice long spine, or if you'd like to lie down for about a minute or so. I invite you to close your eyes and begin to turn your focus inward. There's so much information coming to us right now from the external world. It can be exhausting. And when we allow ourselves to turn our focus inward, we can check in with ourselves and see how we're doing. So with your eyes either gazing downward or closed, do a bit of an assessment, a bit of a checkup. How are you doing? Do a body scan and notice if you might be holding on to something that you've heard on the news, something that you've done in your life, something that you've experienced in the past few days or weeks. And just notice it for now, because we'll breathe and we'll move and we'll try to let go of that. But just right now, just doing more of an assessment. And once you've moved through your body, turn the focus of your attention to the mental activity, maybe sort of that incessant chatter that can go on incessantly. And just notice that. And then notice emotions. What emotions are present for you right now? And also notice your response to the emotions. Whether you might move toward or feel yourself pulling away from the emotion. And then as you're noticing, notice your breath. Notice how we're sitting here not exerting much energy, that your breath might be very calm and relaxed, kind of shallow. That would be normal. And then with the most gentlest of touches, just to allow the breath to begin to develop. So as you inhale in, feel yourself pulling in the breath. Find the top of your inhalation. And then as you exhale out, feel that release and relaxation response in the body. Now focus your mind here. As you pull the breath in, notice that maybe perhaps a stimulation of the nervous system. And as you exhale, that easy relaxation. Take 2 or 3 more breath cycles just on your own, just exploring. Be curious. Notice. You might notice the temperature of the breath. You might notice how the chest or the belly rises or inflates. You might notice how the breath and the body get a little bit denser with the exhalation. One more nice, just easy, comfortable breath cycle for you. And then just as easily, let the breath go. Let the body come back to breathing on its own, continuing to notice. And then if you're not on your back, go ahead and make your way onto your back on your mats. And as you come onto your back, just allow yourself to take that nice long stretch. If it feels good, having your arms above your head, stretching out long. If you allow yourself to stretch your legs out long, stretch your legs out long. Nice big long stretch in the body. And bring your arms down by your sides. Bring the soles of the feet onto the mat. On an inhalation, sweep your left arm up over your head to the floor. Behind you, turn your head towards the right. Exhale, lower the arm, turn the head towards center. Inhale, right arm up over your head, turn your head towards the left. Exhale, arm down by your side, head towards center. One more cycle through. Left arm over your head turned towards the right. Exhale, head to center, arm down by your side. Inhale, right arm over your head, turn the head towards the left. Exhale, right arm down by your side. Bring your hands to your heart center, right above your head in Anjali Mudra. Interlace the fingers. Turn the palms out and just work the hands towards the sky. Maybe open up through the wrist. And then with the palms, press towards the sky. Lower your arms above your head, just to the place where it feels like you're getting a nice stretch. Do not have to take the arms all the way down to the floor. Release the hands, sweep the hands around, raise the feet up off of the floor, hands on top of the shins. Give yourself a nice release through the low back. Make figure eights on the ceiling with your knees. Extend both legs towards the sky. You can hold your hands behind your thighs here if this helps support. Pull your belly button in towards your spine and extend out through the legs. Legs are about hip distance apart, and then just give your ankles some rotational movement. One direction and then the other. Point and flex your feet. Make little fists with your toes. Bring your arms down by your sides. Nice big inhalation here. Exhale, bring your arms up over your head. On a nice inhalation, bend your knees, soles of the feet to the floor, arms down by your sides. Inhale, raise the feet towards the sky. Exhale, raise your arms up over your head. Inhale, bend the knees, soles of the feet to the floor, arms down by your sides. Inhale, legs extend towards the sky. Exhale, raise your arms up over your head. Inhale, bend your knees, soles of the feet to the floor, arms down by your sides. One more time. Inhale, extend the legs towards the sky. Exhale, arms over your head. Inhale, bend your knees, soles of the feet to the floor, arms down by your sides. Stretch your left leg out long. Bring your right leg in towards your chest. Give yourself a bit of a squeeze here. And then release that leg, arms down by your sides just to support you on the floor. And make circles on the ceiling with that right leg in one direction 2 or 3 times. And then in the other direction 2 or 3 times. Just back and forth, getting that nice circular motion in the hip socket. Extend the leg out long, pull the left leg in towards your chest, give yourself a little bit of a squeeze. And then release the leg, arms down by your sides, same thing here. Circular motion with the knee bent in that left hip socket, one direction, one time, then maybe take it in the other direction. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Raise your right leg towards take the sole of the foot off the floor so your right shin is parallel to the floor. Place your right hand on the knee. Pull your belly button in and press your hand into your knee and brace your arms. So you're getting a contraction, the isometric hold in the abdominal area. Sort of press your knee into your hand, kind of hold your hand right where it is so you've gotten some resistance there. And then release, and we'll do that same thing on the other side. So raise the left leg, the shin is parallel to the floor, the calf is parallel to the floor. Left hand on top of that knee, press your knee into your hand and then resist it with your hand. So you're getting some nice isometric hold and stimulation in the abdominal area. And then release. We're going to do that 2 more times. You can stay with one leg at a time. I'm going to cue it this time using both legs. So raise your legs. If you're doing it this way, pull the belly button in and brace through the abdominal area. Your knees are lined up over your hips. Your calves are parallel to the floor. Your feet are flexed. And then right here, take your arms out and press your knees in towards your hands. Again, one of those exercises that's actually much harder than it looks. And then lower the feet. Heel toe your feet out about as wide as your mat. And just let the knees go from one side to the other. Just a little bit of loosey-goosey movement here. Just moving your head with the legs. And then find your strap or your towel, whatever you're going to be using. And we'll start with the right leg. So the left leg can be sole of the foot on the floor. The leg can be reached out long. Whatever feels better on your back. Take the strap under the right foot. Slide the strap around on the bottom of the foot so that we know that we've got sensation on the bottom of our foot and we can feel those stimulating those sensory receptors on the bottom of the foot, create a little heat. And then slide the strap behind the ball of the foot. Slide your arms or your hands down the strap so that now you're working towards the leg at a 90-degree angle. Your foot is flexed. And right here, we're just going to explore. So you can take the strap in your left hand and use your right hand on your leg maybe to guide it a little bit. And I'm just looking for good sensation in that leg. So you're doing yourself a lot of good here having the leg extended towards the sky. That's getting that reverse gravitational pull of fluid in the legs. You're getting more fluid pulled into the abdominal area. You're getting a nice stretch in the back of the leg and the hamstring if you move the leg more over towards your head. If you want to do an external rotation in the hip socket, take your left leg out a little bit wider. It helps with the counterbalance. And then very just controlled, that's the word I'm looking for. Let the leg open. Let the leg open so that you're getting an external rotation in that right hip socket. You can use your hand and kind of press that left hip pointer down just to get a little bit more opening there. Keep a little bit of a bend in your right knee. Take a nice big inhalation right here. And then with control, a little bit of a bend in the right knee. Use the strength in the leg to bring that back up. And then lift your left leg. Bring that up, put it into the strap. So now you've got both legs with the strap across the bottom of the feet, both legs here. We're just going to play around here a little bit. You can do what I'm doing, you can just play with whatever feels good, but I'm going to take the straps and take them wide. I'm going to have my arms down on the floor, and I'm going to slide my feet out long on the strap. I've still got a hold of the end of the straps here. Press the tailbone down, and then maybe kind of sway from side to side a little bit. Let the legs go more over the head. Press the tailbone down. And then use the strap, pull the feet back together, and then open back up. So you're getting a nice slide along on the bottom of both feet. Very controlled action here. As you open the legs in more external rotation, pull your belly button in, press the tailbone down, and then you can use the straps to pull your legs back up. Release the right leg out of the strap, stretched out long, so the foot on the mat. And then we'll just play around with this leg. So now you've got your left leg up. You might pull it above your head a little bit. You might take it a little bit across the midline of the body. You might take it into that external rotation in the hip socket. Much of what Desikachar talks about in his book, The Heart of Yoga, is how when we start to practice our yoga, we start from where we are. Bring the leg back up towards the ceiling. Release the strap. Pull both legs into your chest to give yourself a little bit of a release. Slide your hands behind your thighs. Extend both legs out long. Nice wide stretch here. Bring the legs towards the ceiling, and we're going to rock ourselves up. So you can play with this a little bit. You might be here and just kind of get the legs going up above the head a little bit, and then maybe you rock up, and then maybe you roll back down. Let the feet go over your head a little bit, and then roll back up. Maybe you pause here, find that nice, pivot point where you've got the stomach engaged, and you've got your pivot point here, and then allow yourself to roll back down. Maybe take the feet up over the head, touch the floor, roll back up, pause, make it a controlled action. We're going to do it one more time. So start where you are. You can have the soles of the feet on the floor. You can have them lifted, but find that place where you've got that nice long spine. You've got some control here, and then roll yourself down. Maybe roll the feet over your head, stretch the legs out a little bit. And then as we come up, make it a nice controlled movement as you rise up. And then bring yourself into a seated posture. This is where it's kind of nice to have something to sit on. If you bring your sits bones right off the edge of maybe a blanket or a towel. It gives a little bit of a pelvic tilt, and it can be easier to find a nice long spine. So when you're sitting in this nice long spine with the legs out in front of you, take another rolled up blanket and slide that right behind your knees. Rolled up blanket, bolster, towel, so that you've got something to support a little bit of a bend in the back of the knees. Drum your legs out a little bit, just get a little bit of release there. On an inhalation, take your hands out, cupcake hand, fingers on the floor. Roll the shoulder head back. Head is an extension of the spine. Pull the belly in. Find another inch of height from your sits bones to the top of your head. Nice big inhalation. And exhale. One more time, a nice big inhalation here. And an exhalation. The next time you inhale, let the arms float up to parallel. Turn the palms towards one another. Press your heels into your mat, kind of pull back a little bit. So you've definitely got a little bit of a bend behind the knees. And then hinge at the hips. Come to about a 45-degree angle or less right here. Pause, reach long, and then rise right back up to that seated 90-degree angle. Nice big inhalation here. Exhale, hinge, pressing the heels into the mat. Just take a nice long spine here. And then one more time, using the strength in the back of the body, rise up. Nice big inhalation. This time we're going to drape the top of the body over the legs. So nice big inhalation. And then drape the top of the body over the legs. So what you don't want to do here is use your arms on your feet to pull yourself forward. You can, if your hands are at your feet, great. If your hands are on your shins, if your hands are on your thighs, wherever your draping action is. So where you are, notice your head, notice if you've allowed gravity just to pull it down, or if you can still have that nice controlled sort of awareness of where your head is. And right where you are, take a breath cycle or two in the back of the body. So as you inhale, let the back of the body expand, let it stretch. And then as you exhale, maybe you go a little bit deeper into your forward fold or not. Inhale, stretch the back of the body. Exhale. And then as you're ready, roll yourself up. Let the spine roll up. Articulate the spine up. Bring the head up. Let the head be the last thing that comes up. Slide the soles of the feet onto the floor. Take that rolled up blanket and set that off to the side. And come onto your hands and your knees. So I'm going to use a blanket, a little more padding under the knees. And I'm going to use the blocks. So take your blocks towards the front of the mat and start with your right leg forward in a low lunge. So your left leg is straight out behind you, and your right leg, your hips are about hip distance apart. Your ankle is below your knee. You're not stretched out like with your knee way back in front of your ankle. That's hard on the knee and the ankle. So get yourself situated here. You can use your blocks for support here on the high side, low side, medium side. But what I like for you to do here is just find some movement. So if you close your eyes and you just begin to allow the body to sway a little bit, maybe sink a little bit deeper in one way, and then maybe you begin to straighten the front leg and set the hips back, get a stretch in the back of the leg. So find a rhythm of breathing that as you move with the breath. So as you inhale, you might just let go of thinking about this and turn your experience more to the felt sense of moving within the body. You might turn the back toes under and lift the back knee and put a little bit of weight bearing on the legs to create a little strength. You might straighten the front leg as the back leg is lifted. Or just take another 2 or 3 breath cycles and move in your body in a way that feels safe and comfortable for you. Notice your breath. Notice your inhalation as well as the exhalation. And then as you are ready, and take your time, take your blocks, place them on the mat. If you're not using blocks, you're just going to place your hands right on the mat. Lift yourself up, step that front foot back, lower the knees. So now you're in tabletop with your hands on the blocks or on the mat. Move your spine in a linear movement. So inhale, bring the chest forward, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. Exhale, roll through the tailbone, low back, mid back, upper back, lower the head. And then reverse, lift the head, roll through the upper back, mid back, tailbone. Roll through the low back, mid back, upper back, lower the head. 2 more breath cycles just like that. Focus your attention on the movement that you are creating in your spinal column. Feel that snaky-like wave that goes through your spinal column and connect with that. Connect with that movement in your spinal column with the breath and the focus of your attention. And then as you're ready, come back to neutral. Turn the toes under. Lift the hips for downward facing dog. Take your hips back. You want about a 45-degree angle in your hand to your forearm. Working towards keeping the biceps by the ears, and pedal out your legs one at a time. Bend and straighten and bend and straighten. And then lower back down towards the knees. Bring yourself out into a knee plank. Knees, spine, head, one line. Take a nice big inhalation here. Exhale, bend your elbows, bring your chest down towards the bend in your elbows. On an inhalation, push into your arms, bringing yourself back up. Turn the toes under, downward facing dog. Pedal your legs. Lift your heel from one side and then the other. Bring yourself back down to your knees. Knee plank or full plank. Bend your elbows, bring your chest down. Press into your arms, bring yourself back up. Lower the knees. Top of the feet to the mat. Hips to heels. Rise up one more time through. Turn your toes under. Lift your hips towards the sky. Pedal out your legs. Lower your knees. Extend out to knee plank or full plank. Lower your chest down towards the bend in your elbows. Push yourself back up. Lower the knees, top of the feet on the mat, hips to heels, child's pose. And then let's make our way into a low lunge with the left foot forward. Bring your left foot forward, low lunge. Again, paying attention to your alignment, heel, ankle, knee, back of the leg right out behind you. And then if it's comfortable for you, then just start moving. Just bend maybe perhaps that front leg and sit your hips back. Find a stretch for you. Bring yourself forward. Maybe raise the back leg, straighten the front leg. Your practice, your movement. Maybe 2 more breath cycles. And then from here, we are going to rise to standing. So however you want to get there. If you want to use your blocks, you can place the blocks down, step that front foot back, pedal yourself out, walk your feet to your hands. Find a position where you, or a place where you can hang in forward fold. You can use your blocks, bend your knees, let your head hang, and then play with bending your knees and straightening your legs. So as you bend your knees, maybe heel toe your feet out a little bit wider so that the torso and the chest has a place to go, and you can just let your head hang and you can just sway from side to side. And then experiment with straightening the legs. Having the legs a little bit straighter. Hinging at the hips. Also being aware of the alignment of the head. And then we're going to rise to standing. So shift your weight to your heels. Put the weight in the work in the legs here. Use your legs. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart center. Find your alignment and just pause. Just pause and notice. Notice any shifts from the beginning of class. Notice your heart rate. Notice your breath. As you're ready, inhale, bring your hands down, out, sweep up, exhale, hands to heart center. 2 more breath cycles just like that. Let the hands come down to begin down with the inhalation, sweep around, out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. 1 more time, inhale, hands come down, out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So I'm going to move my props off the mat, the blanket off of the mat. A little bit of a standing practice and then we'll conclude. Legs about hip distance apart, arms down by your sides. Inhale, turn the left palm forward, sweep the left arm up. Keep your legs right where they are. Slide your right arm down your leg so it's just a little lateral side bend here. And then come back to your left arm down by your side. Inhale, turn the right palm forward. Inhale as you raise the right arm, slide your left arm down your leg. So keep the body in the same plane here. Notice if you start folding, keep the body in the same plane. Inhale, bring the arm back down by your side. 1 more time like that on each side. So inhale, left arm comes up and over. Exhale, back down towards your side. Inhale, arm up and over. Exhale, down by your side. And then take a wide leg stance. Legs feet about 3 feet apart. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, we're going to do a forward fold here. Bring your right hand to the back, to the low part of the back. Bend your right knee, fold forward, take a hold of your right ankle. Inhale, sweep all the way back up. Exhale, fold towards your left. Back of your left hand comes into the low back. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold towards your right. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold towards your left. Inhale, sweep up. Keep your arms up, palms parallel. Heel, toe, your feet about hip distance apart. I'm going to turn this way so you can see me. And now sit your hips back to chair. Bring your hands to your heart center. Roll that shoulder head back. The pelvic area is neutral. Your booty's not sticking way out. Keep the level of the angle of the shin and the torso at about the same angle. So we're firing up the quadriceps. Those 4 big muscles on the top of the leg, front of the leg. Hands at your heart center. Sit a little bit deeper. Pull up from the pelvic floor. Now you can use your hands right on top of your legs here. So just kind of support yourself right here. Shift your weight forward. Lift your heels a tiny little bit. Maybe a little bit more. A little bit more. Set the hips a little bit deeper. Lower the heels. Sit your hips back. Push down as we stand up. So press the energy down. Squeeze the quadriceps as you're coming up. Squeeze the glutes. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Sit your hips back. Hands at your heart center chair. Take a nice big inhalation here. We're going to do a rotation. So as you inhale, as your hands are at your heart center, rotate. Let the right leg come out and around, so you're going to get a big rotation in the whole body. Your hands are in prayer. Come back to center. Inhale. Exhale. Rotate in the opposite direction. Back to center. Inhale. Forward fold. Straighten the legs, let the head hang. Sit your hips back. So come back into the angle that the shins were in your chair. Head is an extension of the spine. Use your arms. Inhale, sweep right back up into chair. Press your energy down. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Heel toe your feet together. Right hand around your left wrist. Reach up and over, nice lateral side bend. Come back to center. Left hand, right wrist, reach up and over. Come back to center. Bring your arms down. Hinge at your hips, and then just give your shoulders some rotational movement. You're just letting them go in circles in one direction, circles in the other direction. And then make your way back down onto your mat. So if you have a folded up blanket or a pillow, as you come down onto your mat, onto your back, lift your hips, slide your blanket under the base of your spine. So you've just got a little bit of a supported inversion here. Letting the head get a little bit higher than the heart. Put your hands on each side of your ribs so that the palms of the heels of your hands are on the side of your ribs here. Take a nice big inhalation. Breathe into your hands and exhale. So we're going to do a little bit of a breathing practice right here. And we start with the exhalation. So exhale. Inhale. Exhale something that you don't need that you're holding on to. Inhale something healthy to fill that space. Again, exhale something that you don't need. Inhale something healthy to fill that space. And then let your arms rest by your side. If you want, while we're here, you can lift the soles of the feet up off of the floor. Maybe extend the legs towards the ceiling a little bit more. If there is any movement in your body that you have not, that would just feel good to move, you might do eagle legs. You can do a wrap this way. You can do the wrap the other way. You can do more of a shoulder stand practice if that is in your practice and that feels good. You could do happy baby. You move the blanket out from under you and do happy baby if that works for you. But take about another 30 seconds or so and move yourself in a way that for you feels like a really healthy movement. And then begin to settle into a place where you would like to spend a few minutes in your Shavasana. Take your time. There's no rush. And as you get settled into your Shavasana, make sure that you're comfortable, that you're warm. You've got a little bit maybe of support behind your head. Check in again with yourself just to notice your breath, the mental activity, the body. And then as you're allowing yourself to settle into your Shavasana, let your physical boundaries get really fuzzy for now. Come back into that inner place of peace that you know that you have within you. Practice your yoga, knowing that everything is always in a constant state of change and flux. Find that place of satvara, accepting what is, letting go of the suffering that we create for ourselves. And this is a poem called "The Door is Always Open." Fear, pain, dark moods, despairing moments, plentiful distractions. The human drama plays through me as it always has, with one abiding difference. Knowing what I am opens a door to truth. Sometimes I step across that threshold and sometimes I don't. But the door is always open. Fear, pain, dark moods, despairing moments, plentiful distractions. The human drama plays through me as it always has, with one abiding difference. Knowing what I am opens a door to truth. Know what you are. You are peace. You are love. You are worthy. Sometimes I step across that threshold and sometimes I don't. But the door is always open. So take a few moments and just notice. Maybe even visualize that door. That door's always open for you because you are always there. That part of you that is always centered and peaceful. It's always within you. So start with the exhalation and exhale out something that you don't need. And with the inhalation, pull something in that you do. Let that fill that space that you have just cleared. Exhale out something that you don't need. And breathe in something really healthy for you that you do. So as you're ready, maybe take a breath, maybe an exhalation. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Lick your lips and swallow. If it feels good, take a nice long stretch in the body. And bring yourself back to a seated posture for just a moment. When you come to a seated posture, if it's comfortable for you, bring your hands to your heart center. And bring to mind a blessing that you've had in your life today. Recognize a blessing that you have in your life today, whether it's someone, a situation, a kindness, a thought, an emotion. What blessing have you had in your life today? And hold that blessing in this precious moment. Thank you so much for allowing me to join you in your practice today. Namaste.